Sorry, guys. Again, listen, so today we're just going to write the equation of the line, but today we're going to use a new form that is super important. All right, the y equals mx plus b was really important last week, and I want just to remind you, all right, so if I write y equals mx plus b, that is considered the slope, and it should be called the slope y-intercept, but they just call it the slope-intercept form. All right, and you use that form, all right, if they give you the slope and they give you the y-intercept. But most of the time they don't give you the slope and the y-intercept. All right, so they created another form. All right, and the other form that we're going to learn today is called the point-slope form. And the point-slope form is by far the most popular. All right, say it again. Yeah, it's super easy, super easy. All right. Now, the point-slope form is this: y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And a lot of people think, well, that's kind of a tricky thing to remember. But now I want to show you where they came up with that point-slope form. All right, please, everybody look up and make sure you're hearing me. Originally, we said that slope was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Does everybody remember that? All right, that's the slope given 2 points. All right, now what I want to do is I want to multiply both sides of that equation by x2 minus x1. If I multiply this side by x2 minus x1, I now have the equation y2 minus y1 equals m times x2 minus x1, which is, guess what? The same as what that is over there. So if you know the slope formula, then you know the point-slope form. All right. Now some of you are saying, well, it's not exactly the same because I see a 2 and I don't see a 2 over here. All right. The reason you don't see the subscript 2 on the equation is because this y and this x represent the equation, or all the points that are on the line. All right. This right here, x1, y1 represents the point that is known to be on the graph. All right. And of course, m represents the what? M represents the slope. All right. So now again, very important that you watch me do these. All right. And you see, it's just a simple little algorithm. All right. You do the same thing over and over and over. You get the hang of it. All right. So let's take a look at number 1. All right. Now it says the directions. Write an equation line that passes through the given point and has the given slope. All right. So sometimes, all right, it's really this simple. Look up, please. All right. This right here is x1. This is x1 right here. And this is what? y1. And this is your m. So now what I want everybody to do for question number 1 is I want everybody to write down y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Everybody with me? Now, what do I need to do? Plug in. Y minus negative 3 equals 3 times x minus 3. Now, what did I do? Let's make sure you see. This negative 3 is this negative 3. This 3 is the what? Slope. And this 3 right here is the x value. All right, now if I was probably writing the book, I wouldn't use a bunch of 3's because it's confusing. All right, shouldn't have done that. All right, now the only thing I want you to do now is I want you to just kind of just simplify. And what do I mean by simplify? It would just write y plus 3 equals 3 times x minus 3. And guess what? That's it. All right, that's it. Exactly right. Now, you have to understand, they might ask you to write it in slope-intercept or point-slope. All right, if the direction was write it in point-slope, we would be done. It doesn't really say, that's why I'm looking carefully, it doesn't say what type of an equation of a line. Does everybody see that? It doesn't specify. All right, so we're just going to leave it like this. All right, because that's the new topic I want to discuss. All right, now look at question number 3. All right, now, again, for question number 3, I would kind of like you to do the same thing now. All right. What I would like for you to do is, I'd like for you to write down the equation y minus y1. Everybody write down the equation. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. All right, somebody be brave and tell me what it is. Julian, go.
So y minus 5
Yes.
equals -1 and x minus 1.
Honestly, guys, it's that simple. That's all there is to it. Anybody have any issues with that? Anybody have any issues? All right. That's called the point slope. Why do you think we call it point slope? Because you're given a and a slope. The other one was called the slope intercept because they give you a slope and a y-intercept. That's exactly correct. But most of the time, you're not going to be given the y-intercept. That's why it's easier to use the point slope. Everybody with me? All right. Now, I'm going to take a look at number 5. All right. Now, for question number 5, I'd like somebody to tell me kind of what the problem is here on number 5. That's 100% correct, guys. They don't give us the slope. All right. Now, because they don't give us the slope, all right, what do you think we have to find? Yeah, we have to absolutely find the slope. All right. So in order to find the slope, I need to remember the formula. And what is the formula for finding the slope? Who remembers? We already talked about it today.
Oh, y equals mx plus b.
Nope. Now, you're right. If you write y equals mx plus b, that's just a form for an equation of a line. But if someone asks you to find the slope, the formula that we use is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Everybody with me? So now we got to find the slope. All right? So here we go. What's y2? 3 plus 3 over
2 minus 4.
Now remember, your job is to make sure that you agree with that. Your job is not to write that down. It's no good if you're just writing it down, if you have no idea what I'm doing. That's what you got to figure out. Or you're not writing things on your paper. All right? Don't copy. Is everybody okay with that? And so now that simplifies to 6 over negative 2, which is negative 3. So the slope is negative 3. Now, you have a slope. You have 2 points, but you only need what? You only need 1. So now you have an option. All right, we have this right here, this slope, and I have this point right here. Everybody good on that? Or I have what? Come on, stay with me. This point, or that slope, and this point. You have a choice. You can name either one of them. All right, now what do I mean? All right, so here is your answer. Y minus 3 equals negative 3 times x minus 2. So in the first case, I chose that point and that slope to fill it in. Is everybody with me? Or the other answer could be y plus 3 equals negative 3 times x minus 4. Does everybody see that? I have two choices. This problem, I used that point and the slope. And this equation right here, I chose this point and this slope. All right? Now, do they look the same? They don't even look the same. But now I need your attention real quick so I can show you they are the same line. Please look up now. You don't have to write this out. I prefer that you just concentrate with me. All right, are in fact those the same line? So I'm going to write over here, y minus 3 equals negative 3 times x minus 2. I'm now going to distribute a negative 3. Y minus 3 equals negative 3x plus 6. Anybody have an issue with that? And now I add 3 to both sides. Y equals negative 3x plus what? 9. Is everybody with me on this? All right, now that's in the other format. Now I'm going to choose this one right here. Y plus 3 equals negative 3x minus 12. And now I subtract 3 from both sides. So y equals negative 3x plus 9. Now are they the same lines? Yeah, how do I know that? Because this is the same as this. Is everybody with me? Do they look like the same in this format above?
No.
This right here and this right here do not look the same. But they what? But they are the same. It's just selecting a different point. Is everybody with me? So again, all of that's not necessary. Right now I'm teaching you the point slope format. So the answer, the ultimate answer you could have said was this is an answer here or this is an answer here. Either one of those was good. All right? So let's see if you understand what I mean now for question number 7. All right? First thing I do is need to figure out the what? The slope. So here we go. So I want m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. M equals, what do I have here, guys?
8 minus 3.
8 minus 3 over,
0 plus 1.
good job, 0 plus 1. So my slope is 5 over 1, which, thank you very much, is just 5. Everybody happy with that? So now I want you to write both equations. The first equation, I'm going to use this line right here. So someone want to write it for me real quick? Good, Sebastian, thank you. Good. Beautiful. Good. You are awesome. That is exactly correct. Exactly. Connor, are you with me? All right. So now I want someone to be brave, and I want someone to use the second point. All right. Come on, someone. Will, good.
5 minus 8.
Good job. Yep. X minus 0, x plus 0 is awesome. Come on, that is simple. Simple, simple. Again, that is called point slope form. Point slope form. Anybody have any objections? All right, so now let's figure out. Does anybody remember what I told you about the word problems, right? Yeah, and all next week we're doing word problems. All right, all next week I'm going to show you a lot about word problems. So we're going to get rid of 9. All right, we're going to get rid of 9. All right. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and pick these off here real quick. I'll come down here. All right. And now I have number 11. All right. Number 11. All right. Now someone new who's a little, somebody speak up. Somebody else. I want to write number 11. Somebody new who hasn't spoken today. Let's go. Good.
So it'd be y minus
You can just look right up on the board if you
y
want.
minus 4
Good.
equals negative 1 times x plus 1.
That's how simple, guys. Come on, man. Is that easy or what? Simple, simple. All right. 13. Someone else be brave. Cole, good.
Y minus 1.
What's the y value? That's where kids make a mistake. That's where the mistakes are made. Y minus what? Yeah, I'm looking at the wrong one. That's my mistake. Y minus what again, Cole?
Right.
Yeah, I'm blind. Y minus what? Go ahead, Cole. I'm sorry.
Equals 8 times x plus 7.
X.
Oh, minus.
There. I was right that time. So y minus 1 equals 8 times x minus 7. Easy. All right, Abby. 15.
Okay. So y minus 6 equals 2 times x minus
Look at that. Simple, simple, simple. All right. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Let me go ahead and put the next group up here. All right. After that, here we go. All right. Now this one's a little bit harder because you have to find what?
So
You have to find the slope first. All right, Caroline. Let's do 17. Beautiful. So, yes, you're good, girl. You're good. Over. Yes, very nice. So what is that? Uh-oh, sorry. Equals? Well, tell me what the slope is. Beautiful. All right, now which point are you going to select? The first one or the second one? All right, so picking the first one with that slope. Now I'm listening. Beautiful, beautiful, and simple. Simple, simple, simple. All right, 19, girl. Don't embarrass me again.
So -2 minus 5 over 2 minus 3.
Good job so far.
And that equals -7 over -1.
Which is?
Or 7. Oh no, it's 7. 7.
All right, now what point are you selecting?
The second one.
Okay,
So y plus 2 equals 7 and x minus 1.
look how simple that is. Super easy, super easy. All right, Ellis, will you help me with 21, please?
We do
Hold on, I'm just going to copy this again real quick, so I want everybody to be able to see it. Okay, there we go. Tell me.
y equals m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
Good.
Oh, we do m equals 4 plus 4
Good job.
over 2 plus 2
Good job.
over 4.
Which equals. So which one are you selecting?
The second one.
Good. I'm listening.
Y equals
Wait a minute now. Y minus.
1 minus 4
Yes.
equals 2 times x minus 2.
Beautiful. All right. Good enough. Good enough for me. All right. That was 21. All right, let's go back and see if there's anything else. 23, I don't worry about 23. All right, so here we go. Okay, 25. All right, Caroline.
It would be y minus 2 equals 1/2 times x minus 3.
Beautiful. 27. Miles.
Oh, 27, sorry. 27 is, and that would be y minus 4 and negative 3/4 x minus 6.
Beautiful. And then finally, 29. Who hasn't said something today?
Oh.
Well, I'm going to let Connor. Go, Connor. Give me 29.
Y plus 2 equals 2/7 times x minus 2.
All right, I feel really good about that, guys. All right, I don't do agree that's not that hard, right? Okay, now listen. Was that?
Yeah, yes, sir. Oh, just.
All right. Now listen. I'm going to add one minor detail now. All right. On these last 6, you have to put them in y equals mx plus b form. All right, because sometimes on the test it'll say write in a specific form. So you have to know what form they're talking about. So right now, you need to make yourself a note. On 25 through 30, we have to put them in y equals mx plus b form. All right. Now, especially for the IXL, they may want a specific one. All right, so I need you to be able to do that. All right, so I want everybody to look at 25. 25, that's written in point slope. Now we're going to convert it over to slope intercept. Simple thing to do. All you do is distribute. All right, so the first step is distribute. When I do that, y minus 2 equals 1/2 x minus 2. Did I get lost on that step? Am I getting lost on that step? Now, y has to be isolated, so I have to do what to both sides? Add 2 to both sides. And if I add 2, the answer is just what? Y equals 1/2 x. That wasn't hard at all. All right? So when you want to put it in slope-intercept form, you just distribute and add, or distribute and subtract. Where did I get the what from? From here. You good on that now? All right. So just to be sure now, we're going to do 27 the same way. All right. So I want to take number 27. Now the problem is we've got to distribute a fraction, and we're practicing our fractions mental math. All right. So when I distribute, I get y minus 4 equals negative 3/4 x. Now, 3/4 times 6 is going to be a positive. Now I can reduce the fraction by 2. So this 6 becomes a 3 and this 4 becomes a 2. Everybody agree? And then 3 times 3 is what? So my answer is 9/2. Negative times a negative is today a what? Positive. All right. Now I have to add 4 to both sides. When I add 4, how many halves is 4? 8. When you're adding 4 to both sides, that is the same as 8 halves. So your final answer is y equals negative 3/4 x plus 17 halves. Any issues? Any issues? Again, that's practice your mental math, practicing your fractions. You should need a calculator to do that. You should not need a calculator to do that. All right, is everybody with me? All right. Now, I want to take a look at question number 29. Distributing the 2 7s. All right. Y plus 2 equals 2 7 x, and then what? Say it. Good. 4 over. No. 4/7. Come on. Negative 4 over 7. Does anybody have any problems with that? Really, 2 times 2. Okay, I can help you. All right, now I'm going to have to do what to both sides? Subtract 2. So 2 is how many sevenths? How many? 14. Say it loud and proud. Minus 14 sevenths. Is everybody agreeing with that? All right, and now your final answer. Y equals? Minus what? Minus 18 sevenths. Is everybody happy with that? Everybody good? Everybody good? Now, you got to make a note to yourself now, because I'm not kidding about this now. All right? The 28, 26, and 30 have to be written in y equals mx plus b form. That's the only one that has to do that. Everybody with me? Now, again, hear me again, just to make sure. Don't be lazy. Writing out the formula, writing out the equation, helps you put it in your brain. All right? I don't want just the answer. Write the formula. I promise you, the test on Friday is usually pretty hard, just because of the forms. All right? You have to practice every day learning the forms. That's why I say, write it down. If you take shortcuts, it's not going to be available to you on Friday when you're trying to do the test by yourself. Write the equation, plug the numbers in, and simplify. Anybody have any questions? I thought that was easy. All right, hopefully you felt the same way. All right, good job for today.